Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man Bad Chad and Queen Jolene's on the camera, and we are on air. We got Nate in the house and we have Doug in the house. Doug is still painting the Hudson Terraplane. We can smell the fumes in here. We've been turning the fan on quite a bit, but it's going good. It's going good. It looks real good. We'll show you that. Nathan is building a trunk release. When I took the trunk lid off, there was a mechanism on the back of the trunk. If you remember right, there was this piece on the back of the trunk. And where this had a lever in here where you put your hand in and opened it up, and we took that off, and then there was a license plate holder there, so we smoothed it all off. But now when the trunk closes, we have to make it, or we want it to open, because we've smoothed it all off from the front side. So Nathan has taken this bracket here.
This was the original latch out of the trunk. It's up in here. I had to take in, there was a stop pin on either side. So I drilled the stop pin out, made a pin out of a bolt, with a hole in the middle, and so it pivots. Then a piece of square tubing cut in half. There's a nut with the threads out of it, but the hole's going to be smaller here, so it's piece don't go down. That sets in there like that. Then the cable's going to come through here and pull on that. There like that. So that's the original latch.
What I want to say with that there is where he's got that down here, where he's got it swiveling, that's there, so the cable will not break.
Yeah.
I've done that before. Like I've done that in the Green Goblin, and I didn't make it so the cable swiveled when you pull on it, and it ruined it. It didn't take long either. So, not a piece of square stock cut in half, and a bolt. Drilled the bolt 3 times, so you can put the cable in it. You got the square stock got a smaller hole on the other side.
So that the
then the nut on the top of the wheel has a bigger hole to hold the cable. So he's made all that stuff from nothing, just
pieces
around here, and it fits in there. Basically, he needs this to pull up on this. That's all he needs, that to pull up on it. He's got that spring in there. Yep. So now he's got the cable run there, which hooks onto this.
Put it right through the whole lid, so it's all down. It's going to go down and out through the factory holes there. Yeah. This isn't really mounted down on here yet, but it's going in through there and going to come out the trunk. And then underneath, I'm building a pivot piece in the bottom. This is actually the handle, and we'll be able to reach through here and put your hand on the, actually there's the piece here I've made. This is going to go on here, and then we'll be able to reach in under here, push that, and that's going to pull the cable for the trunk to open.
So in that piece that he's put on the side of the frame there is it's
often emergency brake cable where 2 cable would go around and they'd pull the cable for 2. But that's
so he's actually making everything there to release that trunk from nothing. So it's pretty cool that Nathan can do that. That's awesome. And all we got here is bicycle cable, and he went and got a sleeve for it. Or Jolene went and got it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Jolene went and got the sleeve and all that stuff, and he'll make it to length. There'll be nothing on the outside of the trunk, like we didn't want anything on the outside of the trunk.
And then on the end, we'll pull the slack up, and on the piece underneath, to get these proper ones, the cable slides through, clamps the cable, and that there will be down underneath when it pulls against that, through that. So
if you see somebody's trunk lid smoothed off on a 50, they must have geared something up for that to open.
Yeah.
They must have.
We could have done it with electric solenoid, but it would have took up a lot more room too. We could have done electric solenoid.
And this solenoid would just pull the cable.
Yeah. It would have you could have hooked that up to pull the cable, or the original rod that was there off that. That original rod went in that same hole there, and that's what pulled that. So
there you go, just like that. So we'll go. What I've got to do is Nathan's going to go for that. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens by the end of the video. You never know. But what I've got the dash done. I got it ready to prime, and I used a 40 grit and I used an 80 grit. That's it. 40, 80. I'm ready to prime. Swiped over it nice. Got it cleaned off. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I 220'd the paint, and I possibly did roll over the rest of it. But I'm ready for primer. I'm thinking.
That's just screen performance.
And yeah, did that yesterday. Ashtrays out. We've got these interior moldings we want to get done. We fixed a little bit around the edges where they were not the best. Now I'm going to put a little bit more primer on them. You'll never guess, I saved a little bit of primer from the job that we did. So this will be the end of the 4th gallon. And I'm going to mix the primer right in this bad boy. There you go. That's what I got left. I have a 4th gallon, and it's all going to go on what I got going on here. So what we'll do is we'll just cut one of those things open, mix it right here, or mix it right in the can, and that'll be the end of it. I'm going to pull this door down. You want to come here for a sec? Let's check in on Doug. He's got all the underneath going painted, like we didn't paint the face of that with the wheels, but he's got it all painted underneath here, scraped, all painted in the back and underneath the floor. It's just going to give a car a coating that would look much better when it comes time to, if we're going to run it, it just gives it another coating of protection, I guess. I'm going to lay this down. And what's going to happen is I'm going to shut the door. I'm going to leave Jolene outside here because there's no need for her to get in there with that primer stuff. I just took the screens out of the windows there. Filters, I don't want to get them dirty for next time I want to paint. Just going to pull this down. I think the car should be fine here. I think everything should be good. If you want to come in for the first little bit, you're more than welcome. It doesn't matter, but it's up to you. But see what happens. I would forget an X-Acto knife, wouldn't I? Gonna get an X-Acto knife to cut one of them covers open. They're too tough for my teeth. I couldn't chew it off. Some people can open a beer bottle with their teeth. I wouldn't. Can you? Oh, can't do it. Can't do it.
I quit drinking, so I just don't anymore. What's on my record?
Doug's painting back the fender skirts. Ooh, I love it.
Second coating right now, man.
Second coating them?
It's all second coated, don't it? It actually covers them second coat.
Awesome. So it's one of these containers to 1 quart of feather fill. That's what I'm using. That's what I've used on the whole car's feather fill. I did not feel necessary to use anything else. I feel like as long as everything's sanded and prepped, everything's good. That's how I feel. Just want to take a look for a second. Gun's right there. Got a little bit. Oh, I gotta move this. Don't want to get primer on this stuff. This is a lot of stuff that still has to go on the car, or I'm going to use on the car. I just want to take it out. One of these to quart. Sometimes these little capsules are, one's fuller than the other, but it is what it is. This is the gun that we use to paint the black underneath the hood and underneath the trunk lid and that sort of stuff. The gun that I had when I painted the car, I left it, I'll show you after. I left the brown paint, it was about that much paint in it. And the reason I left it in it, because I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to say that's the paint, that's the gun that painted the car. Basically, I let it go. We'll let the paint harden in it, and it's over. Now you got the fan on. Let's do it. Just gonna wipe that off. I'm never generally too concerned when it comes to priming, like everything. I'm not into using filters and all that sort of stuff. Generally the reason being is I'm sanding it all off anyways. Anything that's in it, the dirt, if there's anything in it, I generally sand it out. I mean, let's face it, it's probably a good thing to filter all your primers and your paint. It's probably a good thing. But I generally just go. I take this off. I know what that's from now. This is the part that I'm not much interested in, but to be honest with you, the gun still works so good that, well, how can I throw it out? I have I'm gonna have to bear with me, sweetheart. There's a place on the top where it takes a filter. I took that filter out because it was in a mess, so I'm gonna get another one. This little thing here. Little filter goes inside the gun. Everything looks good there. Blast of the primer, that's it, all going. Good thing I bent down to do that. Would have forgot the glove box. Use my rags all up. I want to get a rag now to wipe that off. There it is. Joey's little holder for your thing I use to hold the rag. Doesn't show. I got these little chrome things on the end of the dash and on the other end of the dashboard. Doesn't have any place really to take it off. I don't know what's going on there, how they come off, but there it is. I'll leave it on there, or else I would take it off to prime it, but it doesn't give me the choice. Just going to put that right there. Yeah, so I'm glad I stopped for a second. I'm going to do it. I'm going to filter the primer. I see something I don't like. Or I don't think I like it. Just look lumpy, that's all. And as you can see, it slows me down. Probably worth it in the end. Not sure why that cover keeps going on, but it's a cover that keeps on giving. This. We'll just prime these right straight until the primer's gone, and that'll be it.
Just got to drip, that's all.
All this stuff has had one sand, and we fixed any places that we thought we didn't like. Now I'm just putting a little bit more primer on for the second time. So basically the dash is going to get one. I think I'm going to try to do it all in one, or I'm going to have to do it all in one. And the reason being is I've got no more primer left. So I'm going to really drench this thing in the last little bit of primer. This stuff here has already been sanded and fixed a little bit. I just have to put some more primer on it to cover things. These two here, I'm going to have to flip over to do a little bit more to those because I want to prime both sides of those. This stuff is generally so thick too that it clogs up the filters really quick and it takes a long time for it to run through, but that's generally probably the reason I don't do it most times, but it's at the end of the can. I don't want no lumps. A couple places I missed. Just trying to use it all up at once. Why I'm holding it back a little ways on that, because I just sprayed that, and obviously if I go hard up against it again, it's going to pile a lot on, you know, something could happen, so I'm just kind of putting it on dry, but where the material is not cured yet, it kind of blends right in nice and it goes into leaving a nice texture. And I'm just trying to pile it on that piece because that's the piece that needs the attention. Not sure what I'm going to do here yet. Probably not the right thing to do because it's probably going to stick, which probably it will. But what's going to happen is I'll just keep coming over and picking it up, but I have to get some primer on this side too. These pieces are hard to prime, and to hang them, they're all over the place. I just deal with it. Probably going to be deadly to get off, but it is what it is. Putting on as much as I can so I can sand it off. Now I'm basically done there for primer. Basically done there for primer. Just going to get some thinner, run it through the gun so I can have it for priming again. I might as well use it as many times as possible. Just grabbing it by the inside so I do not disturb the outside and just keep picking it up, and after a while I'll have it so it's not stuck there. The front side you're not going to see. This is most of the inside what I'm going to see because the heat's going to blow towards the window, so that's towards the window. I'm not going to see that because of the rubber, but I still wanted to prime it. Not sure what the color of the garnish moldings are going yet. Have no idea yet because we'll decide that tomorrow. You can probably come back tomorrow and you'll probably find out. But what's going to happen is these are going to be setting until all day. I'll leave them set all day, won't touch them. You know what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll look for pinholes. I'll repair the pinholes before I do anything. Like I'll come in here and touch anything up that I think I need to touch up before I sand it off. And that way there, when I sand it off, it's ready to rock and roll. like I said, I'm going to actually just prime this. I primed, I don't know, 3-4 coats there. Just come off. All right, Joni's on the ball, man. She's got her. But anyways, I'm going to leave. You know, that there's only going to get done once. I probably should do it a couple times, but I'm feeling like I hope I put enough primer on it that we can paint it and make it look good. I like it already with all that gone. It looks so much cleaner. Looks a lot cleaner. And the reason things get deleted is because didn't have a radio for it. Didn't have a radio. The heater not having a heater in the car. We're just going to run it like during the summertime. The piece in the middle did not have the tack and that sort of stuff, so we might as well just clean it up, be done with it, make it paint, and go away. You're looking at what we did yesterday, sanding the filler off and priming it today, so that's where we're at. Let's go here and see where Nathan's at. This sort of stuff here, you know, making that sort of stuff, I mean, that stuff right there, you know, you have to use your brain quite a bit. I mean, little stuff like this, for me, takes a while to make, and you have to think about every little piece that you're using, like, to think about you cutting a bolt, putting a bolt in there, got to drill a hole in the middle, got to drill a hole at 2 ends, got to put cotter pins in so you can take it in and out, put the square tubing in there and cut it in half, so he can drill a smaller hole in the square tubing on this side, and then you got a bigger hole on this side to hold the cable, for that to fit up in there and run the bicycle cable through there, and to go down underneath there, and to make a lever. He found a, look at that now, would you? That was good. That's what that lady should have used to butter my toast the last time I ordered. Anyways, this little lever here looks like to me like it's coming up like so, and I'm going to push down on that, and then it's going to pull that cable where it has this piece on. I don't know if, there it is right there actually. There's the piece right here. That's going to go forward. When I pull down that, it's going to pull the cable. It's going to knock it over. Now that is a bolt welded onto the end of the frame. Had to put a washer on one side so this piece wouldn't go over all the way. Then he had to drill this in, put a cotter piece in this end. Then he had to make a tab for the tongue to pull your hand down. So every bit of that trunk, me doing the outside, filling all the holes, welding up the license plate indent on it, and then filling it out. You can spend just as much time figuring out how to make all the pieces to open the trunk after you customize the trunk. And that's where it's at, to be honest with you. Like it's I don't know what to say. Not for 1 minute think it's over just because you've done the outside. There's so much more to do. As we had Floyd in, asked him he's going to do the interior in the car, and I'm thinking that he's willing to do the interior of the car, but he came in and said, geez, I'm thinking that maybe that back window has to come out to hold the headliner in. I'm thinking, stay tuned. Not sure what's going to happen there yet. Nathan's making another piece. This piece is to hold the cable, I've no doubt in my mind.
Cable at the bottom of the frame.
So he's got a piece of angle iron and a bolt doing the exact same thing.
You stop it on there, and the end of the cable goes in here, and that'll go in there.
And then the hole on this piece is smaller, so that can't go through.
So that way it can't come through there, right? That there won't go. That there won't go through there, right? No.
That runs your cable go through. That's what he did on that lever there. That's what I'm saying. And to take a bolt and then do that and to make that lever and to make that trunk open without buying anything. That's going to the junk drawer and picking up stuff and say, I'm going to make your trunk open without that latch is awesome.
I asked if I could do it.
Yeah. There you go. Basically, he asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, well, you pick, because there's all kinds. You can do whatever you want. But he's good at that sort of
stuff. Like that before.
Never had a job.
What do you want to do today? What do you got? What do you want to do?
Basically. But to have that go up and down with that lever, that's going to be cool, because it's going to make, it's going to finish the trunk lid where I've smoothed it off. But the old car is looking real good. I'm liking the red around the wheels with the white walls. Just my opinion, I think our new chrome looks excellent on both sides, looks awesome. And don't forget, if it ever falls off in 10 or 15 years, I can put a brand new piece on for about $5. If you know what I'm saying, I put a brand new piece on. Also, where this is like that? Yes. Yes, there could be a piece of aluminum made, bent, shaved, cut, or a piece of metal cut and glued on there and polished. I'm just as happy with that, to be honest with you. And I'm actually happier because of the time, the money, and to be honest with you, who would know when this car's riding down the road? Who would know? Who would know even if they come up on it, what was going on there? Where did you get that? So I'm very happy with that. So I want to thank everybody for coming back. What's that, Nate?
Charlie Brown looking for his Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Right? We don't want to do any of it.
Thanks for coming back. We really appreciate it. The primer's going on the dash and that stuff. You've seen that. So we'll probably end up painting that tomorrow, hopefully. Nathan's going to make the trunk open. Doug's, we're going to call Dirty Doug today. Doug's got the underneath the car looking good. Got fender skirts off. I asked him, would he rather lay down and paint, or would he rather put it on the hoist and have his head stuck in the air and bent back the whole time? And I'm thinking that, you said you liked laying down, didn't you, Doug? Yeah. You like laying down better. And you know what? I don't blame him a bit. I'd rather paint like this, laying on my back, than have my head stuck up like this painting.
That's a lot to do with old injuries, man.
Old injuries.
Old injuries.
Tell us all your injuries, Doug. No, he says.
I broke my neck. That's the worst one. I broke my neck.
He was on a YZ50.
Yeah, 50 Singer, yeah.
I wrote from my nose, actually.
Yeah. Saved by my neighbors, right? So, here's the moral of the story is, don't drink and drive, and don't listen to your friends.
Alrighty, have a good day, everybody. Thanks for coming back. We really appreciate it. We're moving right along. There's so many more things that got to be done, and we're going to go for it. Try to get as far as we can with what we have, and then you know what's going to happen. There'll be the big switcheroo. Come on.
We're always moving forward.
You heard Doug. We're always moving forward.